Okay, so I wanted to jump on here because we keep getting a lot of questions about what it takes to be a personal trainer at Epic Fitness. So what certifications do I need to get? What are you looking for? And just more, there's a lot of people curious about the fitness industry as a whole, and also really aligning with our philosophy, which is really the epic life, right? We want to help people to live a more epic life. We want people to feel free, and we want them to feel strong, and we want them to feel like they have control over their daily practices, and we want people to love their life, and we think that that's possible. So it's not just about losing 10 pounds or winning a powerlifting competition or that kind of bro culture. If you know what I'm talking about, you're at least a fitness enthusiast. And so, because we're a little bit different in the way that we approach training and fitness and health and wellness, many people have been asking us, what is it? What kind of certifications are you looking for? And how do I become a trainer at Epic? So I want to do this Facebook Live just in case anyone is on their lunch break, maybe between clients, or obviously to save this video for the right time for someone maybe interested in learning more about us. And I think a video that is really logistical and practical may be very useful for a lot of you out there. So yeah. So I'll just kind of go ad lib, and of course, if anyone's watching where this is relevant for you, then please just submit a question, and I'll definitely answer them as they come up, for sure, to the best of my ability. So personal training is very interesting because we have sort of, over the past year or so, many of us have thought, even the term personal trainer doesn't really apply 100% to what we're doing at Epic Fitness. We are this amazing combination of lifestyle coach, movement coach, forest therapist, personal trainer, and really a wellness guide. But all of those terms on their own aren't good enough. So until we come up with a better name, we are hiring personal trainers. And I want to lead with the personal training versus a wellness coach, because wellness coaches tend to be more heavy on the nutrition side and more heavy on the life coach side, which is not really the core of what we are. We do lead with personal training first. We lead with movement. We lead with proper assessments and an eye for movement, and we want clients to be able to progress. Therefore, knowing the science of exercise physiology is the crux of what we want someone to really start with in this role. So that's why we still call it a personal trainer. So the first question that I get a lot is certifications. What certifications do I need, and what do you look for? So, I think over the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, there's definitely been this skepticism that's been around certifications. And I see both sides. I see people who just say, a personal training certification shouldn't take me a weekend. It should take me longer than that to be a personal trainer. Other people say, well, what's the point of getting the certification if it's not even relevant information? I find with a lot of our trainers, a lot of the time, the certification, to even get the certification necessary to be able to be a personal trainer, they have to unlearn a lot of the stuff that I teach them or that our team teaches them in order to pass the exam to get the certification, which can be seen as frustrating sometimes. But I want to tell you this. You need to have a certification. This is a professional position. And for some of you, it may be a career long term. And what I mean by that is more than a year. It may be your life passion. Maybe you're someone like me and I can't imagine myself doing anything else. Personal training is really what I'm called to do, and there's an evolution with personal training. I started counting repetitions for clients. I started, also in more the bodybuilding traditional aspect of training, and then evolved more into metaphysics and nutrition and in spirituality, and have sort of implemented that within my movement practice and when I'm teaching others. Mobility, strength, all that combined. Obviously, functional training as being the top priority or the top lens that I see movement through. But, whether or not you're doing this long term, you're a professional. You have people's health and their bodies in your hands, and you need to be able to have a certification. And yeah, it's not going to maybe necessarily be the best or extremely relevant to how you're going to be practicing. But I think, from my standpoint, you need to be signed up to have a certification. You need to have steps. You need to have paid your tuition, and to prove that you're serious about this. I think that's something that's important. You need to prove that you're serious about being a trainer. It's not just an ad hoc thing. No client wants to train with a moonlight trainer. And frankly, with the amount of value and knowledge and support and mentorship that you get at Epic, we want you to come in being serious about it. And I don't mean serious about it as in you have to have it all figured out, but you need to prove that you've put some thought into this, and this is something you're seriously considering, and it's not just something you're trying on just to see how it fits, So what kind of certification are we looking for? I think the easiest one to get in Canada is CanFit. It takes a weekend, and you have to do a practical exam and a theory exam. Over the past couple of years, they've updated the information. It's a bit better. I know a few of the instructors in Ottawa, and they're fantastic. Eldon and Mike, they do a great job. And so I know, I say that one because it's consistent, and I know what you're going to get. Are there better certifications out there? There are more time-consuming ones, and there's more that are correspondence, like ACE, for example, from the States, or ACSM from the States, NSCA, CSEP in Canada. Unless you're really on the science side of things, it's correspondence. They're based out of Alberta, so they don't have a lot to choose from in terms of in-class teachings, which I think a lot of people learn better with in-class teachings, and that's what CanFit definitely offers, which I like. So the other ones will be correspondence. Not every trainer is really wired that way. That's why we're trainers to begin with. We're not really all that into self-motivated module training to get an effect over time. Now, some of us may be inclined to do it more that way, but regardless, I'm going to layer on top of that certification, whatever you get, I'm going to layer functional training on top of that. So you can't, at this point, wink, wink, do a trainer certification that is based in functional training. It doesn't exist. That gets you certified as a trainer, that I can display that to the insurance company that I deal with to say, hey, all of my employees and all of my team are certified and they are protected and they know what they're doing. So you get the certification that gets you in the door. For Epic, we require it within 3 months. I want to have proof that you've signed up for it. I want you to prove to me that it's going to happen within those 3 months and it's a priority. And prove, I mean, I need the confirmation email that you got, and that's fine. You need CPR and first aid. That's non-negotiable. I think everyone on planet Earth needs to get CPR and first aid. You never know when you're going to be in a restaurant when something happens. You never know when you're going to be, your family member is choking. I think it's just a good practice to get that anyways. But you definitely, hi buddy, puppy dog. You definitely need CPR and first aid. AED is required. If you need further clarifications on that, then you can definitely just DM me. Oh, puppy, don't go this way. Go this other way. Hey, baby. Oh my gosh. Yummy drool. I'm hoping he doesn't go through this way. So now, if you are CanFit Pro, CSEP, ACE, NSCA, whatever, certified already, and this is more of a conversation of, hey, I'm not a rookie, I've been around the block for quite a long time, but I want to work with you guys, and I have 4 years experience, I have 6 years experience, but where I am right now is not the environment I want to be in. I want to move into more of the conscious living space, the conscious moving space, the lifestyle space. I want to be the future of fitness. Then my answer to you is, the first thing I would recommend is IHP. So the Institute of Human Performance is a lot of the teachings that I have absorbed and that we use as part of our mentorship process, and the way we see clients move and how we progress them. A lot of that is derived from the Institute of Human Performance. So JC Santana, he has an online certification platform. It's called IHP University. Definitely look into that. There's going to be a lot of crossover. So if you get that certification or you sign up for that and you get into those teachings, I'm going to teach you a lot of that, but you having the foundational theoretical knowledge, or if you've already done this, then you're a shoo-in. Like, you now know basically the philosophy of how we see movement. Further to that, I say Sean Mosen, Agatsu, kettlebells. You can never go wrong with that. Mobility and joint mobility and strength. Any certifications, programs, workshops that you've done with that in mind, definitely on point. Definitely will be used with our clientele in our structure. Another one would be Gary Gray, FMS, Astrid Trim. Another one would be Mike Boyle for his functional movement assessment. We don't use that per se at Epic, but there are similarities and there are great exercises that we've incorporated into our methods. Paul Chek on the lifestyle section of things, so how to eat, move, and be healthy, HLC 1, 2, 3, 4. Chek practitioner, exercise therapist is more in the corrective exercise portion of things. It's useful, but it's more of a branch off. So, if someone is not functional, which most people aren't movement-wise when they first get out of the gate with us, and so if there's no hip hinge availability for that person, then maybe you are going on to do some corrective exercise, further tests or assessments where you would use the protocols that Paul Chek has. But I would say that is more of the holistic lifestyle is more appropriate than necessarily the exercise coach or the Chek practitioner realm of things. Now, is it valuable? Absolutely. Will it be considered? For sure. But I just want to give you what would be the most accurate and the most transferable. Another one would be more philosophical type stuff, on the spirituality side of things. These aren't necessarily required, but it tells me a lot if you're interested. So if you're interested in the science of nature, if you've read Nature Fix by Florence Williams, if you have looked at Caroline Mays, if you're interested in, even if you listen to Joe Rogan, there's a lot of great stuff on there. Dr. Rhonda Patrick did an episode on Joe Rogan, and it was about nutrition science, but it tells me about what you're interested in and what kind of moves you, and what, and the lens that you're looking at health and wellness from. The other one would be Marcus Aubrey. I'm sort of lukewarm with that, but there's some great stuff on there. If he has a good guest and he doesn't ramble too much, then you can usually get a good episode. The School of Greatness, Lewis Howes, all that kind of self-development aspect of things, definitely is heavily weighted. Those aren't necessarily certifications, obviously, but they get layered on to what you already know on the movement side of things. If you're interested in Ido Portal, if you've watched that documentary on Netflix and you've been inspired and that's where you want to move towards, then that's huge. If you are interested in gait and foot mechanics, if you have done anything with pelvic floor, or if you recognize the company Complex Core, those are all useful and all great. And if I could have all of my trainers do all of those certifications, then they would be set for life, honestly. Other things that are of value would be motivational interviewing or psychology, anything on the psychology front of things, whether it's from a NLP standpoint, or the theoretical model of behavior change, or Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those are all really, really important concepts that help you with a client and will really allow you to be an amazing trainer. So all of those things are wonderful. So there's sort of two types of people. If you're a personal trainer right now that you've already done certifications and you've been working for a long time, let's say, and really you want to move into the lifestyle space, but you don't want to give up your your science background. You don't want to give up the fact that you're a functional trainer, that you value movement. I think oftentimes with trainers right now who are really moving forward and really are embracing the spirituality and the nutrition and the psychology and the lifestyle component of things, is that they still have a very strong strength and conditioning background, or a very strong movement practice, or a movement base. I mean, if this is your career and you're 6 years in, 5 years in, I'm probably talking to you, and you've probably evolved past physique modeling and past powerlifting and those sort of rigid, sort of like very structured expressions of fitness. And maybe all of those experiences, you've absorbed such great teachings. I mean, anyone that's been in the powerlifting space of things, if you've competed or if you've trained clients, I know you're wicked at cueing. You're wicked at those traditional lifts, which is so very important. You need to have that. And if you've moved from the bodybuilding space to the physique modeling space, you know the chemistry of the human body. You know how to get a result. You know how to keep someone motivated, keep someone, level-headed. And that is extremely valuable. That's really my history, minus the powerlifting. The powerlifting in high school, I didn't do it later in life, but you understand foot placement and kinetic sequencing and all of that stuff, which is huge. But if you feel like you have moved through those things and you have learned from them, and you've now moved on to, you know what, if I'm functional for the rest of my life, and if I can just get up and do a 10K and not feel like I'm falling over, I don't need to run a marathon every single year. I don't need to be in a competition every single year, but I know how to drop 10 pounds in a client like that. And I know that wellness and lifestyle components and life practices are actually the most important thing as we move forward, and they're the most sustainable. Then, I'm speaking to you, and I think I'm speaking your language, and I understand you, which is why Epic is for you. So if you are in that mode and you're sledging through 9 hours a day of clients, or you are doing your thing, but you don't feel necessarily like you're around like-minded people, then definitely, if you have any of those certifications, or if that's what you're interested in, then FRC, for example, or Ido Portal stuff, the movement space, Indian clubs, maces, all of that, barbells, kettlebells. If that's cool to you and you're layering that on top of the certifications you already have, and you've got that lifestyle component, and you do meditation and yoga, and you're interested in actually maybe getting into energy healing, or you're just curious, dude, like you need to DM me, you need to move forward with us, because that's where you belong. To answer any questions about, so that's sort of the certification atmosphere of things. That's the one personality that I might be talking to. The other one might be that rookie who sees what we do, and you guys have messaged me and you're not really sure, you haven't really taken steps to move forward with personal training, but it's something that just won't get out of your head. And maybe you're an enthusiast, or you're really curious. So then I would say your first step is really to sign up for that certification. CanFit Pro is the easiest way to do it. It's in class teachings. I just wouldn't take it as Bible. Fitness industry is unregulated, and there's a lot of different directions you can go in, but you do need that certification. It proves that you're serious. So if you're serious about it, then sign up. From there, there's a mentorship that we do, which is a 30-hour mentorship process. We teach you about functional training. We teach you our human movement assessment. We teach you about motivational interviewing and the psychology of a client. We teach you about the Epic Life Formula, which is a really good way to be able to start implementing and helping your clients with lifestyle practices that are actually going to help them be well. And it gives you a tool to be able to move people forward, because lifestyle practices are such a vague thing that sometimes you don't even know where to start, right? So for those who are just joining right now, I am talking about what you need in order to be considered or to be a personal trainer at Epic Fitness. So I've had a lot of DMs and people interested in how to be hired and how to get on board with our team. So just kind of making sure that you guys have the answer in a video format. That way you can watch it in the comfort of your own home. So what do we look for in a personal trainer? So when we go, when that resume comes in and everything looks pretty good, and maybe we know the person, and maybe they're a referral, or out of the blue they just happen to email us and they come through the pipeline. From there, we're looking for a couple of major things. So the first 4 things we look for is we want to know how you're living your life. So Epic Fitness is not a place for you to work if you are still really figuring things out to the point where you haven't even really considered nature as being a part of wellness, or you haven't really considered nutrition at all. So to be a coach or to be someone who is teaching, you need to be living it. So I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to be, on point with maybe where I'm at, but you do need to have a shoe in the door, and you need to be practicing an epic life to the best of your knowledge. Obviously, your knowledge is going to increase by being in our space, but you got to know whether you're a client or you're a trainer with us. A client is really learning and has a lot to learn from just being a client, coming to our movement master classes, coming to our regular classes, coming to our yin practice, our meditation with Julia, coming to just being in our space, coming to our smoothie bar, learning about what we have on our shelves and why we have smoothies the way we have them. I mean, to be a teacher, to be someone who's on the inside and teaching this lifestyle, you got to be living it. So, we have a lot of stuff online. Our blogs are filled to the brim with education and knowledge. So you have to be scouring that and moving in the direction of living an epic life yourself to be considered. With that in mind, I know some of you, the achievers of the group, like anything, you guys are going to be hard on yourselves. So if you feel like you're 30% of the way, then you need to apply. And if you are one of those people that just won't apply until you're 100%, dude, let it go. Just take a chance and apply, because who knows, maybe I'll look at it, or maybe Christy will look at it and we'll just say, hey, there's some really good stuff here and everything's progressing and moving forward, and you actually know a hell of a lot more than our clients do, which means you can be a teacher. So within that epic life, kind of living that life, there are the 4 pillars, which you could just Google right now, and you could be on our website and know: functional movement, holistic nutrition, nature, and self-care. If I ask you the question, what is holistic nutrition? You got to know it in a visceral way. If you're going to farmers markets, if you're aware of eating, well, that's a great start. Functional movement, maybe you know the science of the body, or maybe you're coming to our classes. Maybe you've seen some great results with functional training. Maybe you've done your certification. Maybe you've listened to a couple podcasts by JC Santana, or you've attended some sort of workshop or seminar, even online. That's great. When it comes to nature and self-care, there's a ton of things you can be reading about self-care and understanding that. I think the biggest thing there is self-development. What's the last podcast you listened to? What's the last book you've listened to? And I'm not interested in the fiction stuff, although that might be under the realm of self-care. I want to know what you learned about yourself in the past year. What's your tendency? Do you tend to react, or do you tend to blow up? Do you have a short temper? What is it with you? How are you working on yourself? Because how are you going to be able to teach clients who are going through things, or being able to recognize patterns in them to help move them forward? You need to be doing that for yourself. And we all have a lot to learn here on earth, and it's always a journey, but I want to know where you are at in your journey. And if you haven't started the journey yet, then that's an indication for me that you're more a client, not necessarily a teacher yet. But of course, many of our trainers started out as clients. So that might be something to consider. The best way to get on board with Epic is to be an enthusiast of what we offer and to live that life. And I think a natural progression from that is to then move forward into a certification and then move forward into a career with us. But yeah, so those 4 pillars being the crux of what we believe in. So we're going to look at that in your life. And the other part is our behavior tenets. So we're looking for specific personality types, I guess you could say, but it's more about a lifestyle. So I will share those things with you. I'll give you inside information. The first one is I vibe high. So this means you're most of the time the bigger person. You have a consistent attitude about you. Your personal life doesn't throw you for a complete loop. We know what we're going to get from you attitude-wise day in, day out. The moodiness and the negativity and that kind of thing really has no place under our roof. We have clients that walk in with really bad days, and we need to be able to turn that attitude around. We need to be calm, cool, and collected to be able to be in a good headspace for our clients, because you can imagine what it's like when our clients are rushing and they're 10 minutes late and they've had a really bad week, or they've got a sick son, or they've got something going on with their hip. So we need to be neutral. We need to be in a good headspace. We also need to be able to be interactive with each other in a positive way. So I vibe high is so crucial. It also means that you're going to see the best in people. You're going to see the best in me. You're going to see the best in Epic. You're going to see the best in your teammates. You're going to see the best in things, because that's how we're going to be able to work together and to move forward as a whole, and to be able to create the impact for our clients that we really want to make. The second one is I know what's next. I know what's next means I am a director. When I'm in my circle of friends, I know what we should do next. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a super detail-oriented person, but you have a hunch, you have an intuition that you're listening to, that you know, people listen to you, you're a leader, and they look to you for advice, they look to you for filling in the gaps with whatever it is that you're doing. So there's elements of this. I find that people who are servers and bartenders and waitresses and camp counselors, those tend to be really, really good fits for personal training, because you are the leader, you are the director, you're taking an order, you take that table from A to Z all the way to the end, and you know what elements need to go when, and you're fast on your feet. So that to me is always a good start. If you've got hospitality background, I'm always like super excited to see that. I know what's next is also, I find, a personality trait of someone who's been in sport. If you're a high achiever, if you have been in sport, or you've played a musical instrument, or you have been a high performer in any capacity, I don't care if you're a champion poet, what is it in your life where you're a top performer? That translates really well to Epic, especially under the personal trainer profile. And so what's next means you're a leader. You want to know how the game works, so you want to know how this thing operates, which for us, the personal trainer role and client care, and taking someone from wanting a goal and being not their optimal to then taking them to the next step, one step at a time, day in, day out for a year, to get them exactly where they want to be. That's huge. The next one is never idle. Never idle means, I'm always growing. I'm always growing. My team's always growing on a personal level. We move fast as a company. We want to get better all the time. We want to be more efficient. We want to be more impactful. We want to be more positive. We want to, put in steps and processes that make life easy. I don't think work should be work. I think work should be the easiest thing you do in your day. And that's my philosophy. So anywhere that we can remove obstacles and get better, I rely on my team a lot to tell me what's inefficient and for them to be able to present a solution. So never idle means never just resting on your laurels, never just resting with that 12 clients that you have that are going to be around for the next 4 years. Never idle. Keep growing. You don't let your clients outgrow you. So that's really huge. And it also, that's on a personal side of things. So I'm going to ask questions about, where are you growing in your own life, and what are you unsatisfied with? Not from a, that you're not worth it standpoint, but more of like, what are you not satisfied with? What do you want to keep learning about? What are you curious about? What are you working on within yourself? The next one is, I know what's next, never idle. Oh yeah, don't hurry. Sorry, be quick, don't hurry. I was going to say don't hurry, be quick, but it's actually I've got it messed up. Be quick, don't hurry. And what that means, it might seem a weird sentence or contradictory, but be quick on your feet. You got to move fast, and you got to have a fast mind, and you need to be able to wing things when you need to, and trust your gut. So if someone comes in, you have a program laid out for them, and they say to you, my shoulder's clicking today, or my hip hurts today, you got to be able to move around that. So you got to be quick, and being someone who's hurrying means you're not taking in the information and you're not being thoughtful about it. You're being too fast, which means you're going to make too many mistakes. So when you hurry, you make mistakes, you're not grounded, you're not present. When you're quick, it means you're in the flow. It means you're in your element. It means things are lining up. You know, if you play sport, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that flow. When you're too nervous or when you're too slow, it doesn't work, right? You want to be in this quick, you want to trust your gut, you want to trust what you know, and you want to be quick on your feet. You know, quick-witted, you want to be quick with your intellect and quick with just how you are as a person. I find the best trainers we've ever had have always been the ones that just can't sit still, you know, and just always got to be moving. So that's always a good indication for us about what's going to work. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what we're looking for. If you want more information about who we are as a company, I think the best bet is to go on Instagram and check us out. You can check me out on Instagram too at Stephanie Karlovits. Hi, Bubby. Hi, friends. Oh, that's nice. Hi, little guy. Hey. I like getting visits from puppies. Yeah, check us out on Instagram at Epic Fitness Ottawa, and then of course my handle. And you know, who else? I mean, there's tons of trainers on my team that are on Instagram. They're all on social media. So if you're a private investigator enough or you care enough, I'm sure you're going to find them, and then you can see how they live and what their tone is. And I think the key is just not to be intimidated. Like I said, if you are 30% of the way there, if you look at us and you're just like, oh, like I don't think I can do that, or I'm not that fit, or I'm not that functional, or I'm not that spiritual, or I'm not that positive. If you're 30% of the way there, I want you to DM me. I want you to submit your resume, and I want you to click the link that I'm going to provide below and go through the application process, because I find with high achievers, you guys sell yourself short a lot, and you're actually further along than you think you are. So I'd rather us have the connection. Worst case scenario, you're not quite ready yet, and I give you a couple things to focus on or to move forward with, and then we reconsider in a short amount of time. So I'm always open also to just have a conversation. You know, if you're not quite ready to jump ship where you are right now, and there's some logistical questions you have, or you know, you're not really sure how it would happen, let's jump on a phone call. Let's figure it out, and you wouldn't be the first. So you know, we've been down this road before. If you have a full-time client roster you're worried about, I get it. I've been there. Let me help you through it. But you know, if you're just already half out anyways, then wherever you are isn't getting the best of you, so you need to really make a decision on that. And if you're a rookie and this is brand new for you, you know, at the very least, come by and do a class. Come by and see what we're all about. We're hiring also for the customer service specialist position, so maybe you want to get your foot in the door and just work our front desk and our hospitality at the cafe, and maybe you start there. I started as a front desk person, and that was really wonderful to be able to see the trainers and see the clients from an observatory standpoint without having the responsibility of being a trainer quite yet. It really gave me a lot of knowledge from the get-go from that perspective. So all that to say, if you want information about us, obviously go to our website as well, epicfitnessottawa.com. And if you're serious, type on the application below and get started, and we'll be in touch with you. So any questions, let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys have an incredible day and enjoy this beautiful weather. Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a great weekend.